Did you know that the brain does not distinguish between what's real and what's imaginary? Sally Gunnell, a 1992 Olympic gold medalist, explained that winning gold was 70% mental. Stay tuned. We're going to get into this and explain what exactly she meant by this coming up. Hello, I'm Fernando Sosa, and you're watching Mindset of Steel Live Show. In this show, we encourage you to crush your limiting beliefs, punch fear in the face, and take massive action in your business and your personal life by focusing on the 80% psychology and 20% strategies. Welcome again. If you're watching live, welcome. If you're watching on the replay, welcome as well. Go ahead and type on the comment below, say hello, drop a note. Today's episode is episode number 9. And I'm very excited today. We're going to talk about visualizing your desired outcomes and the law of attraction. Now, this is a very popular topic that has come up in the past recent years. I mean, I've heard about it for many, many years. And I thought it was very interesting and appropriate to just bring it up as one of the topics for this live show. Now, I learned about the law of attraction a few years ago when I read a book called Think and Grow Rich. This is the book right here, Think and Grow Rich. Actually, it was a different book cover, and I have it in audio format as well. This is a book that was published in 1937. Imagine the world, how it was, 1937. And this book is still being read, and it's one of the best-selling self-development books out there. There's a lot of training, a lot of courses, personal development programs that are based on this book. This book is quoted very heavily. And it talks about the law of attraction as well. So I learned about that by reading this book. And then in 2006, I believe, there was a book published called The Secret. And that was about the law of attraction. And then there was a movie based on the book, which is actually still available on Netflix. And it's about the law of attraction as well. Very good movie. I liked it. I watched it a couple of times. And it talks a lot about the law of attraction. And it was mind-blowing. And I think that when the movie came out and the book came out, this law of attraction thing just became a phenomenon. And it was not a new thing, but the book definitely helped, and then the movie definitely helped as well. So I'm going to share with you a small clip of what Oprah, Jim Carrey, and Steve Harvey have to say about the law of attraction. So take a listen, take a look, and we'll talk about it next.
Obviously, you knew somewhere inside yourself that you were destined to be famous, because I think it's really a marvelous thing, that visualization thing you did. Do you all read about this or hear this? That you used to go up on Mulholland Drive and park
every night
and visualize seeing yourself as...
Yeah, I would visualize,
This is when you were broken poor.
Right, having directors interested in me and people that I respected saying, I like your work, or whatever that is, and I would visualize things coming to me that I wanted or whatever.
This was in like 1987, 85.
Yeah. And I had nothing at that time, so it was like, but it just made me feel better. It made me, at that time, all it really was for me was kind of making me feel better. I would drive home and think, well, I do have these things. They're out there. I just don't have a hold of them yet, but they're out there.
Okay, so you would get this from what, self-help books or whatever?
Yeah, self-help section.
Self-help section.
They renamed it the Jim Carrey wing.
So didn't you write yourself a check? I heard that you did. Is that true?
I wrote myself a check for $10 million for acting services rendered, and I gave myself 5 years, or 3 years maybe, and I dated it Thanksgiving 1995, and I put it in my wallet, and I kept it there, and it deteriorated and stuff, but then just before Thanksgiving 1995, I found out that I was going to $10 million on, I think, Dumb and Dumber.
Dumb and Dumber, yeah. So you visualize yourself like... Visualization works if you work hard.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. You can't just visualize and then, go eat a sandwich.
I love that. That was such a powerful moment for me, because I was not a person who did visualization or thought about my belief system in such a practical way. But I learned a lot from Jim Carrey on that show, and he is absolutely correct. If you can see it and believe it, it is a lot easier to achieve it. So thank you, Jim, for reminding us of that lesson. And it doesn't mean that for every person that writes the $10 million check that that's going to happen for you, because so many times people who do that process live in the space of wanting and resisting it instead of writing it, visualizing it, seeing it for yourself, and then letting it go. Letting it go, but moving in the direction of working toward it. So nothing happens at first. It's over the process of the time and the effort and the energy that you put into a thing that the energy comes out.
Welcome back, everybody. You know, folks, I'll admit it, my life is going really, really well. Many of my dreams have come true, and there are plenty of you who got huge aspirations and for success too. I get emails and tweets all the time from people, so many people asking how I did it. I try to share the principles of success whenever I can, because I have not gotten this far without learning the principles of success. And over the years, I've just realized that common sense just ain't that common. So I often get inspiration from books, and one book that resonates with me all the time is this book right here. It's called The Secret. It is the most powerful book outside of the Bible that I have ever read in my life. And the book is based on the law of attraction and how that principle, once you master it, can help you find wealth, happiness, better health, whatever you're looking for, relationship.
Okay, so there you have it. So something interesting about the law of attraction. I mean, it's very interesting, the concept, and it's been a lot of some controversy because it's kind of like mystical of what exactly is happening, and some people don't really look into it either further and believe it's just hocus pocus. But if we think about it, what's really happening is, well, first of all, there's a couple of things happening, but one thing that's happening is that the brain does not distinguish between what's real and what's imaginary. There's been studies done that basically, like, one experiment was done with the athletes playing basketball, and they hooked them up with some wires in their brain. They're scanning their brain activity, and this athletes, they were doing the activity of playing basketball and doing exercises, and they measured their brain waves. They basically measured their brain. And then the other part of the experiment is that the same athletes, they sat them down and they had them visualize that they were doing the activities that they were doing before, not doing it in reality, but just visualizing it. And in their measurements, their brain scans ended up being the same. That resulted, that basically shows that the brain, that's one way of proving that the brain doesn't really distinguish between something that is happening for real and something that you're imagining or you're that visualizing, that you're thinking. So that is a powerful thing to think about. And I like to explain this to my kids when the little ones that they ask me, I explain to them, this is why you did pee-pee in your bed. Because the brain doesn't really know the difference. You're dreaming that you're in the potty and you're doing it, and then your body just lets go and does it, right? Because that's actually what happens. The brain sends the messages to the body, and it doesn't matter if it's awake or not. You think it, it doesn't distinguish the difference, right? In terms of the physical activities, if you were when you're visualizing an outcome, let's say in the example of the physical activities of the athletes, this is a strategy, a technique used by many professional athletes, visualization. And basically what they do is that they visualize themselves performing the task, either running faster or playing basketball better or hitting home run, whatever the sport is. The boxing, Conor McGregor talks about this a lot, the UFC, the Michael Phelps, the swimmer, talks about this as well. They basically visualize themselves doing the activity, and going the extra distance, doing this activity better and better. In their mind, they're playing the perfect game. And what happens is that you do that over and over, and that when it comes time to actually do the physical activity, you actually perform better, because in your mind, you've already been doing this over and over. So that's a very powerful thing if you think about that. You can actually improve your performance by visualizing yourself in advance, doing what you want to do. And this happens, and not just in exercising or physical activity, but in other areas of life. And let's say, for example, that's one thing that I wanted to explain. But the other thing is that when you're looking at something, let's say you're scanning the area, you're looking outdoors and you see cars, trees, houses, people, birds. You see, there's a lot of things that you're looking outside. The brain, when you're looking outside, does not pick up all the information that is out there. There's millions of bits of data, of information out there. There's millions of colors, sounds, smells. The brain picks up a certain amount of information. Now, what happens is that when you're thinking about something, you have it in your subconscious. You're thinking about it over and over. You're visualizing, you're thinking about it. Your brain, you're more in tune. So next time you're scanning something, you're more likely to see something that you're thinking about, versus if you're not thinking about it, because now the brain focuses on what you're thinking about. So it's not like whatever you pick up afterwards wasn't there before. So let's say, for example, if you wanted to buy a car or shoes or something, all of a sudden you start seeing that thing over and over. That's an example of a law of attraction. It's not that you're attracting these things into you. It's that you're noticing them because you're thinking about them, and they're aligning more into what you're thinking about. So it has to do with alignment and frequency, and we can get more in depth in that in another episode. But the more you think about something, the more you're going to see it. It could be good or it could be bad. So you want to be careful what you're thinking about, because you're going to attract what you're thinking about. So this is very powerful. So in terms of, once you establish that, visualizing whatever goal or outcome that you're trying to achieve makes it more likely, more easier for you to achieve that goal. You still have to do the work, right? It's like Jim Carrey said, it's not like you're going to visualize and then go eat a sandwich. You actually have to do the work. And this is where some people fail to understand, that they think it's like wishful thinking. That's not enough. It's not enough to pray, for example. Okay, you got to pray to a higher power, but you also have to do the activities, right? The higher power might give you the means or the wisdom, the clarity, but you still have to get up and do certain things, right? And that's where some people stop doing what they're supposed to do, and they think that this doesn't work. So you have to take action, but visualizing does work if you focus and visualize what you want and you really feel it. Okay, you're feeling the outcome like it already happened. So that's a very, very powerful strategy of visualizing outcome that we wanted to talk about in this episode. There's many exercises that we can do to demonstrate this. And I have one very simple one that we can do if you want to try it. You can do this the following. If you can do it sitting down, or you can do it standing up. If you're doing sitting down, if you do this, you're gonna extend your arm and point your arm straight and point straight. And then what I want you to do is just turn your arm like I'm doing right now. Don't turn your body, just turn your torso and rotate all the way until you can't rotate any further. Okay, and then you point at something and you see where you can reach, the farthest you can reach. And then you go back to your original position. Okay, and you lower your arm. The next thing that you should do is close your eyes. And I want you to close your eyes and visualize yourself doing the same exact thing that you did right now. Don't do it in reality, but in your mind. Visualize yourself, close your eyes, visualize yourself lifting your arm, pointing straight ahead, and rotating and rotating with your eyes closed, imagining yourself rotating all the way to where you got before. And now this time you continue rotating in your imagination, your visualization, rotate even further, a ridiculous amount. Just keep on, you're going almost all the way around in your mind, all the way, rotate. Okay, and then your mind, you just rotate back to your original position. You lower your arms and then you open your eyes. The third step is now you're going to repeat the same exercise for real again. So now you lift up your arm, you point straight, and you rotate. You rotate all the way around until you can't further. All the way around. Keep on going. And then you notice where you're pointing. Okay, you can go back to your original position. Now, if you rotate it more this time around, type yes in the comment below. Let me know how it went. You will probably rotate more the second time. And the reason that happens is what changed? Your body didn't change, right? We didn't change anything. What changed was your mind. This time around, you utilized the visualization technique to stretch yourself even further. And then when you actually did it again, you actually went farther. So initially, we typically set ourselves a limit based on what we're thinking. We have our limiting beliefs that don't allow us to go further. And when we visualize ourselves doing the impossible, what you think is the impossible, the perfect, right? I said the perfect, right? The full rotation, that would have been perfect, right? It's almost impossible, one might say. Some people might do it, right? But you do better when you visualize, and that's the whole point of this. So that's just one example. There's many other examples that you can do visualizing, and that you'll see that your performance actually improves. So next time you're doing an activity, either a physical activity, a mental activity, you're talking in public, you're driving, or you're doing anything, visualize yourself doing it, and you'll see how you perform. And in terms of visualizing other goals, like in life, you want to buy a car, you want to get a business, you want to visualize yourself reaching that goal. Okay. Obviously, there's going to be things that you have to do to get to that goal. It's not just going to happen. But once you put that in your mind, you're going to start aligning yourself. Like I said at the beginning, you're going to start seeing things that you didn't see before. But now, because you're visualizing it, and now you're going to start visualizing things that are going to help you see things that are there, but now you're going to see them. And then you're going to get to connect with other people that were always there, but now you're going to be connecting with them because now you're more focused. And also, and it happens vice versa. They'll see you as well, right? It's like people notice you when you notice them. It's more in depth, right? It's about aligning and frequency, being on the same frequency. So that's all that I'm going to talk about in terms of visualizing your outcome. This goes in tandem with spirituality. It's not something that is contradictory. It goes hand in hand. Higher power, you're praying to God, and I have my faith, and this is one tool. Visualization is a tool that you use. Okay. But it definitely works. So I hope this helps you, and you try it out. Let me know what you think about it. I'm curious. Thank you again for being here. If you're watching on YouTube, please click on the subscribe button and the notification icon, and drop me a note. Let me know that you're watching. If you're listening on Apple Podcast or Spotify, please leave me a review. That will help as well. And don't forget to share it with somebody that you think might benefit from this. Next week on the live episode, we're going to have a special guest. We're going to have a psychotherapist and a cognitive behavioral therapist. His name is Patrick Martin. And we're going to talk about a daily habit of priming and identifying your healthy thoughts. It's a very interesting topic, and we're going to talk about that next week. So if you want to get bonus content and be part of our community, join our mailing list. Just go to mindsetofsteel.com. just click on the mindsetofsteel.com and enter your info, and then you'll be notified when we have special guests, when we have bonus content. So mindsetofsteel.com. And that's all for now. See you next time. See you on the next week on the next episode of Mindset of Steel. Bye now.